Kasuk Turidka Utut Kanat Manitruluri Uvlupak. We invite our ancestors to be here with us today. We cleanse this space with white sage. And we invite the healing and helpful spirits in our bloodline and connected to us otherwise to be with us here today. So this is our retreat mosaic. This is what we're going to be working from. These are the main topics and themes that we're going to explore within ourselves. So the first one is meditative journaling. We've already done a little bit of that. Listening through self-reflection. We'll do a lot of that. And then we'll be seeing your depth, desires, and doubts. That's coming up. Body bright work. We just did that. I hope you enjoyed it. And we have a little bit more down the road, somatic experiencing that we'll be doing, which is another form of body bright work. And then truth and inspiration as wellness tools, as well as strength building for kindness and gratitude. Welcome back. I'm going to invite you to check in with your body now that we're 10 minutes later and you might have been outside and got some different air. You might have been in a different part of your house, heard or thought about something totally separate from this retreat. And I invite you to be present with that for a minute while you're taking some deep breaths into your body and exhaling. Feeling how that oxygen is coming into your body in this moment. Feeling how the release of tension might feel differently than it did at the top of this retreat. Okay, so when we're slowly breathing in and out, focusing on releasing tension and inviting peace into our spines and our thighs, our hips, and our neck. I want you to think back to your protector. Our protectors are fantastic at protecting often, but they're not so good at learning to stop protecting. What we need to protect when we are 5 years old is different than when we're 10 or 20 or 50 or 80, right? Deep breaths in and out. Sometimes our protectors hold us back from being kind or forgiving or seeing the ways that we need a change. I've had to work with my protector to let go, stop being angry. Breathing in and out. So these questions that I'm going to guide you through will help you assess what fears you need to protect now and ones you can practice letting go. So before I go into these questions with you, I'm going to invite you to grab something that you enjoy working with. Something like beads if you're a beader, or something like a paper and a pencil if you're someone who likes to draw. Maybe you like working with Play-Doh or clay. Or maybe you like to collage. Maybe you're a dancer and you like to move your body to express and to work through. Maybe you're a talker and you want to talk through things or sing. Those are all fine things for you to do in response to this. The point here is to engage creatively, which helps to open up different parts of our mind and our body and our spirit. To be able to access vulnerability, to be able to access truth, to be able to hear and listen to ourselves in ways that help us change and grow. So that's why we're doing that instead of just asking the questions, thinking about them, and writing them. Many of us are doers. We like to move our hands. So I invite you to do that. If you are someone who explores through writing, I invite you to write and respond to these questions in writing. So let's get back to our breath, grounding ourselves. Breath is such a powerful tool. Breathing in and releasing out. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and keep your hands busy, your body moving. Some people play with sand. Some people stack blocks. These are all things that will help us access. So thinking back to our protector. So you're exploring with your hands or your body or your voice. I want you to ask yourself, what are you comfortable showing other people? When does your protector say, oh, that's all right, I can stand down? Yeah. Examples are maybe when you're telling a joke, you're comfortable showing your humor or your smile. When are you comfortable showing yourself? Are you ever comfortable showing yourself? If the answer no is that, then that's an area of work, right? Are you just comfortable at home, breathing in and out, or somewhere else entirely? Let's go ahead and think about that. Write that out. Create while thinking about what you're comfortable showing the world, or one person, or your family. It doesn't have to be everyone, right? What are you comfortable showing? In and out. Now, let's think about, what are you afraid to show other people, right? If anything, maybe you're not afraid to show anything, but most of us are afraid to show something. So examples are anger, maybe art, your fear, maybe your humor, maybe you're afraid to joke. Maybe you're afraid to show your face or a different part of your body or your smile. Maybe you're afraid to show weakness. Whatever you're feeling when you think about that fear, you and your protector, I want you to put it into whatever you're creating right now. Because you're not creating for how it looks. You're not doing for the final product. You're using it as a medium. You're beating while you think about what you're afraid to show other people. You're drawing while you think about what you like to hide, right? We all have these things, and it's important. We hide some things. We don't want to show everything all the time, right? It's important we have boundaries, but it's also important we know what's behind those boundaries. Taking big, deep breaths in, moving your body if you're dancing, exhaling out. All right, moving along this same line of thought, of feeling. What do you wish you were more comfortable showing from yourself? What do you wish, right? What do you want to be more comfortable with about yourself, with other people? You can write it out, talk it out. Just spend some time doing while thinking about that question. What do you wish you were comfortable showing from yourself? Okay. Why are you uncomfortable showing others those parts of yourself? When you think about showing something you don't, and you want to. You want to share something, but you don't feel comfortable. Why? Where does that discomfort come from? An experience, a person, a book? An addictive thought? I want you to think about at least one time you faced something that you were afraid of and it turned out okay. Taking big, deep breaths in and out. Think about something that you were afraid of that you faced, however big, however small, and it turned out okay. Thinking about that event, how did it feel? How did it feel when you faced something you were afraid of and it turned out okay? And how did your protector change? So I wanted you to explore those last questions, because our protector, just like our sacred center, changes. It's based on what we want, what we value, what we think is worthy of protecting, and that changes as we grow and age. And so sometimes it's hard to think about becoming comfortable with things that we want to be but are afraid or somehow resistant to. But there are always things we can look back on that we did face. We all have to face fear in our lives. So I encourage you to use those memories as little gems in your pocket to remind you that you've done challenging things before. You can do that for anything that you're working through. It can be fear, it can be anger, it can be grief, it can be procrastination. You can use memories of success to keep you going. And I encourage you to do that. Okay, now we're going to move on to the somatic experiencing at home portion of the retreat. So, somatic experiencing incorporates body experiences and sensations to heal trauma and settle and ground the nervous system. So, I'm not a somatic experiencing therapist. I've done a variety of different somatic experiencing therapies. There's a lot out there, and I found them to be very, very helpful. And so I am sharing from a resource from life-care-wellness.com. It's from Rhonda Kellaway, and she has some at-home somatic experiencing exercises that you can do. I do recommend, if you are someone who likes body-based healing, to find a somatic experiencing therapist or other practitioner to do anything from somatic touch to somatic massage, biofeedback. These are all absolutely wonderful therapeutic techniques that have worked for a lot of people. Okay, so we're going to do an exercise called when you felt most like yourself. Okay, and this is an exercise where you're thinking back to moments where you felt like yourself. So I'd like you to go ahead and get into a comfortable position if you're not already, sitting up or lying down, focusing on releasing tension in your spine. Taking those big, rich, deep breaths in and exhaling, letting yourself just relax into that exhale. All right, I want you to take a moment as you're breathing deeply in and relaxing out. Think about your overall experience right now, the last day. Big deep breath in and exhale. Think about the last 24 hours. Maybe having coffee in the morning, maybe getting kids ready for school, maybe coming home from work and ordering sushi, maybe going out camping, maybe picking berries, except not because it's November in where I am. Just think about a time as you're breathing in and out. Just think about the last 24 hours. Or is there any time, any moment where you felt most like yourself? Most like yourself in the last 24 hours. It can be as simple as driving down the street, talking to my mom, reading to my son. Okay. So think about that, a time when you felt most like yourself. You might not have been 100% like yourself, but most like yourself. All right, on your next inhale, I want you to remember that moment in a detailed way. And exhale out, releasing any tension. I want you to think about where you were. I want you to think about what you were doing. Were you with anyone? Were you eating anything? Were you outside or inside? Big deep breaths in and out. And as you remember these details, I want you to think about how your body felt. I want you to think about what you heard. If anything, think about what you smelled. Fresh cookies. I want you to think about what you felt, cashmere on your skin, birds' feathers on your face. Big deep breaths in and out. Really want you to sit yourself back in this experience where you felt most like yourself. Breathing in and out. Put that experience on like a piece of clothing. Put that part of you on again. Breathing deeply in and releasing out. Recognizing how your body changes when you put yourself back into a time when you felt most like yourself in the last 24 hours. Okay. On your next inhale, I'd like you to recall another time you felt most like yourself. And on your exhale, think about that time. It's maybe in the last 2 weeks, maybe in the last month. Breathing in and breathing out. Again, this doesn't have to be where you felt 100%, right? Just a little bit like yourself. Just a little joy, a little humor, a little something that's you. Breathing in, bringing yourself back to that moment where you felt most like yourself in the last few weeks, and exhale. If you're experiencing depression or other mental health challenges, I have been in the same boat most of my life, and I know how hard it can be to find that one moment. So I'm just going to give you a minute of deep breathing in and out. Find that moment you felt most comfortable, most like you, most like you. Go ahead and remember that extended moment, that moment before, that earlier moment, in a detailed way. Put that on like a piece of clothing. Where were you? Were you with anyone? What were you doing? Put on your senses in that moment. Smell, taste, feel, hear, touch. When you put that moment on a few weeks ago where you felt like yourself, how does your body change now? Something relax, something tighten, fear come up anywhere, joy, relaxation, patience. All of these things are important messages from yourself to yourself, and there's no right or wrong way to be. Somatic experiencing is about being with you where you are and listening for what's there. Taking big deep breaths in and out. Thinking back to those 2 times you felt most like yourself and pocketing them in your heart so you can pull them out when you don't feel like yourself. Taking a big deep breath in and exhaling out. Coming back to the room, wiggling your fingers and toes. What do you notice now about your overall experience? Anything? So the website that I will share in the notes says that this particular exercise can not only bring you back to your true north, it can help you ground in the felt sense of the present moment again. So I hope you check it out. So people often use the terms health and wellness as the same thing, right? But they're really not. So health is a goal and wellness is the active process of achieving it. That's from a Sanford Health article that I really love, and I will link that. I also think it also means understanding our own boundaries and needs so that we have the freedom to pursue what we need to, the freedom to change what we need to, right? So a big part of balance is deciding what tasks or activities are priorities and what tasks or activities aren't important and can wait. It's pretty hard, I think, for a lot of people. It can be for me at times. I have ADHD and just sometimes just get stuck. Or am not stuck and I'm all over the place. So the problem is that we spend so much time on things we think that we must do that we neglect the things that make us feel happy and well. And what I just said there was from an article out of Canada. It's actually a wellness module, not an article. It's a whole module that I'll put in the links that I love, that helps people find balance through wellness and balance through time. So this right here is an example of a wellness wheel. And I'll share, this is also used in the personal seasonal wellness assessment that I'll be sharing with you later. But a wellness wheel basically breaks down that sphere of self into different areas of self. And it's debatable as to how many areas there are. Sometimes there's 6 areas, sometimes there's 12, 8, 10. I like this model right here. And it includes the emotional, spiritual, intellectual, physical, environmental, financial, professional, and social parts of yourself. So we'll use more of that later, but I just wanted to I wanted to show you that wellness is not just an ambiguous term. It actually has concrete elements to it, and there are ways that you can become more well. It can be hard to define at first, but this and our personal seasonal wellness assessment will help. So, okay, so before we move on to the next theme, the last thing I want to talk to you about wellness is wellness through time as balanced wellness, right? So I really love in this, I'm going to say it again, in this wellness module, they have so many things, but one of the things I love is a 2-question survey to see if you are in balance, if you found balance or if you're out of balance. And when I first heard that, I was like, a 2-question, but actually the questions are fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and ask them to you now, and you can ask yourself these questions at any time. They're also in this wellness module, along with other assessments that you can use to see if you are balanced right now. So the first question is, when I've taken care of everything I have to do I have the time and energy to enjoy the things I want to do? When I've taken care of everything I need to do I have the time and energy to enjoy the things I want to do? Okay, that's question 1. Question 2 is, can I get absorbed in something without worrying about another task or feeling guilty because I'm not doing something else? Can I get absorbed in something without worrying about another task or feeling guilty because I'm not doing something else?